Welcome back to the last part of the history of the women's body ideals. Let's dive straight into the Swinging Sixties. Yeah! Thin was officially back in. Women favored petite, delicate figures and long, slender legs. This was largely influenced by the rise of the youth culture movement and the emergence of the Twiggy look. The ideal body shape for women in the 1960s was characterized by a lean and athletic figure with a straight, boyish frame. This look was achieved through a combination of diet and exercise, as well as fashion that emphasized a streamlined silhouette. Women's clothing in the 1960s was often minimalistic and form-fitting, with styles like the miniskirt and the shift dress highlighting the legs and hips. The beauty ideals of the 1960s also reflected a more natural and youthful look. The body ideal of the 60s represented a departure from the exaggerated femininity of the 50s and reflected the changing social and cultural values of the time. Swinging London, a term used to describe the flourishing fashion and cultural scene of London in the 60s, influenced women's dress and style in America during the same period. Now let's move on to the eccentric 80s. During the 80s, a new fitness rage was sweeping the globe. The goal was tall, tanned, and thin, slightly athletic looking, with toned bodies, smaller waists, and narrower hips. In this decade, women started to be truly empowered, and the career woman was born. Thus, power dressing became really popular. Oversized jackets with puffy sleeves and shoulder pads, high-waisted pants, stonewashed jeans, statement jewelry, big hair. The bigger, the better. The era of excess. People wanted more money, fame, careers, material things. Remember Material Girl by Madonna? Well, it was an irony towards those times. Even though the ideal body size was fuller than the 90s and even later on, this fitness rage still caused a lot of eating disorders amongst young women and girls. This decade saw a noticeable spike in anorexia, potentially due to this infatuation with exercise regimes and workout videos. In fact, one publication even pronounced anorexia the disease of the decade. That's why the end of the 80s marked the beginning of supermodels. And this takes us to the Heroin Chic of the 90s. A frail appearance was the look of the decade. The 90s showcased the thinnest female ideal in history, in comparison to most of the previous time periods leaning towards a fuller figure. Women modeled themselves over skinny, androgynous, almost feeble-looking celebrities of the time, most of whom would have been using drugs to maintain their thin frame. The ideal body type of this time period featured extremely thin, translucent skin, androgynous. Heroin Chic was a controversial fashion and beauty trend. The look was popularized by fashion photographers like Corinne Day and fashion designers like Calvin Klein and Marc Jacobs.
Perry Ellis. It's the collection that sums up the mood of the times best. Inspired by Seattle's grunge rock scene, Marc Jacobs for Perry Ellis doesn't take it literally. Jacobs translates that Seattle spirit into fragile clothes that fit the mood and the moment.
This controversial look was seen as a departure from the healthy and athletic body type that had been popular in the 80s. The trend was criticized for promoting an unhealthy and dangerous body ideal. Despite the criticism, Heroin Chic remained popular in the fashion industry throughout the 90s. However, the trend eventually fell out of favor as the dangers of eating disorders and drug use became more widely recognized. Overall, the Heroin Chic trend reflected the changing cultural values of the 90s, which were characterized again by a rejection of traditional beauty standards and a fascination with alternative and edgy looks. Obsession. Welcome Come now to the 21st century and the plastic surgery revolution. Now, the 21st century has seen a massive rise in cosmetic surgeries such as liposuction, Brazilian butt lifts, tummy tucks, face fillers, jawline fat dissolving injections, breast implants, and so many others. The ideal body shape for women has gradually become more and more artificially augmented, to the point where it is physically impossible to achieve through diet and exercise alone. Nonetheless, the early 2000s saw a range of body ideals for women with different trends and cultural values influencing the beauty standards of the time. There wasn't only one body ideal to follow, but more trends, so you had the freedom to embrace your true self and become closer to your body shape. People started to understand that we are all different and our bodies are different and we cannot fit into one single box. So more body ideas became popular, like the thin ideal. Despite some criticism of the Heroin Chic trend in the 90s, the early 2000s continued to emphasize a thin and often unattainable body ideal for women. Supermodels still embody this trend with a focus on extremely slender and toned bodies. The bootylicious ideal. Alongside the thin ideal, the early 2000s also saw a celebration of curves and a more voluptuous body type. This was popularized by celebrities like Jennifer Lopez and Beyoncé, who embraced their natural curves and popularized the term bootylicious. The healthy ideal, as concerns about body image and eating disorders became more prevalent, the early 2000s also saw a focus on a healthy and balanced approach to diet and exercise. This was embodied by celebrities like Cameron Diaz and Gwyneth Paltrow, who promoted a holistic approach to health and wellness. The athletic ideal, with the rise of athletic wear and fitness culture, the early 2000s also saw a focus on an athletic and toned body type for women. This was popularized by celebrities like Serena Williams and Maria Sharapova, who emphasized their physical strength. Overall, the early 2000s reflected a range of body ideals for women with different trends and cultural values influencing the beauty standards of the time. While some of these trends promoted a healthy and balanced approach to health and fitness, others perpetuated unattainable and potentially harmful body ideals. We are in 2023. What's next? I'm really curious, to be honest. Now, the current body ideal for women is increasingly diverse and inclusive. With a growing emphasis on body positivity and acceptance, there is a recognition that there is no one perfect body type and that all bodies are worthy of celebration and respect. In recent years, there has been a movement towards embracing natural beauty and individuality, with less focus on achieving a specific body type or conforming to traditional beauty standards. Many celebrities and influencers have promoted body positivity and self-love, encouraging women to embrace their unique bodies and to appreciate themselves as they are. Love your body. Love yourself. You are perfect. The most important thing is to be happy and healthy, because tomorrow a totally new body ideal may be in trend. Keep in mind that your body is right. Thank you so much for watching the last part of the history of women's body ideals. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more fun facts, and check out the first 2 parts of this series to be amazed by the crazy trends of the past, from the ancient women to the dazzling flappers of the 20s and the glamour of the golden age of Hollywood. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to learn more about a particular time or a personality. More crazy fashion trends are coming soon, so stay tuned. And don't forget, your body is right. Enjoy it, my dear, to the fullest. You are absolutely amazing, and you are gonna steal the spotlight today.